the most successful manager in Manchester City's history, and he is not done yet.
You've got to hand it to him.
Chance of a treble to come. Manchester United to be faced in the FA Cup final in just under a fortnight. Inter Milan to come in the Champions League final. But what we've seen from this team in this Premier League campaign, it is going to take something special to knock Manchester City off their stride. The mentality, the belief, the focus when needed, the strength and the skill. It has all been there in abundance. A season in which Jack Grealish has really lived up to his expensive price tag. How consistent he has been, especially in this second half of the season.
Well, if you're looking for an example about the work that can be done in developing a player, I think Jack Grealish is that example. Because when he arrived, he admitted he was uncomfortable. It was really hard for him, you know, after coming out as a big fish in a small pond at Villa.
Only Sir Alex Ferguson has now won more English titles than Pep Guardiola. Manchester City fans hope there is more to come. He can look tense and agitated, but on days like this, Pep Guardiola's smile beams. Arsenal did their level best, but there was no catching Pep Guardiola's Manchester City. Nice moment for Scott Carson, the backup goalkeeper, who's allowed up onto the podium despite having not featured in the Premier League this season. Ruben Diaz, who has been such a solid campaigner, having re-established himself in the team after being on the periphery in the early stages. Edison Moraes, goalkeeper who for so often in games when Manchester City dominate possession is to look on, but more often than not when called upon for the big moments, he delivers. And what a season John Stones has had, reinventing the position he plays in.
He's basically turning himself into a superstar here. I mean, listen to the chants going around the Etihad now upon his entry to the podium. And there's another guy who's been phenomenal for me, Nathan Ake.
Nathan Ake, who popped up with an important goal when required in the run-in. Scored against West Ham earlier on this month. Smiles for Aymeric Laporte, who will turn 27 next weekend. Had to be patient for his place in the team during the course of the season, but was there when needed. Big day today for Sergio Gomez, who finally got to start a Premier League game. He'd come on as a substitute in 9 matches over the course of the league campaign. What a signing Manuel Akanji was. Brought up in the Barcelona way of thinking. Successful spell in Germany with Borussia Dortmund, but has really flourished for Pep Guardiola.
Well, lined up at right back against Bayern Munich at home in the Champions League, and then lined up at left back against Real Madrid. And he's been outstanding in what he's delivered too.
Rico Lewis, 18 years of age, the baby of the dressing room. Having captained Manchester City's under-18s, he's now in the big time. And Calvin Phillips, who got his first start to the Premier League for City today, will hope to start on a much more regular basis next season. These are lovely scenes. Pep Guardiola and Rico Lewis. Jack Grealish, who chipped in with 5 goals and 7 assists in the Premier League this season. 2 Premier League titles now to his name. Bernardo Silva, much speculation as to whether we'll see him in sky blue here at the Etihad again. What a servant he has been for the club. Very few teams in the world that Bernardo Silva would not walk into.
Well, he began it all against Real Madrid during the week. Incredible game he had, and he has been, over the years, just a huge part of what Pep Guardiola has wanted to deliver. And yeah, Bernardo Silva, again, incredible.
Cole Palmer, who got his first Premier League start of the season today. Having made 11 appearances as a sub, he's earned his Premier League winners' medal. First time that he's received one of those over his neck. And what about this guy? The biggest cheer on the podium for the Norwegian, who has taken to Manchester City, the team his dad played for in the past, and has elevated them to completely stratospherically higher levels. Not to be forgotten, World Cup winner Julian Alvarez, scorer today of the winning goal against Chelsea.
And all part of their exceptional recruitment.
Riyad Mahrez, who has won Premier League titles in the past with both Manchester City and his old team Leicester, remember. This is his 5th Premier League title in all. Speaking of 5 titles, at 22 years of age, Phil Foden, the youngest player to ever win a 5th Premier League crown.
Yeah, injured not so long ago, but now he's hoping that he can impact and play in the FA Cup final and indeed the Champions League final.
In the engine room, disruptor of opponents, turner of defence into attack. Rodri, another very successful campaign. He only missed 1 Premier League game through the whole season.
The new Fernandinho.
No, sir. Kyle Walker will turn 33 next Sunday, the final day of the Premier League season, but today, the day of real celebration. His 250th appearance for the club in all competitions. Another victory against Chelsea. Very popular figure. Arguably the most talented Manchester City player of the current generation. Kevin De Bruyne, can he drive this team on towards the treble next month?
Do you want a quick answer? Yes.
And again, perhaps the last time we see Ilkay Gundogan in blue at the Etihad. Contract up, believed to be on his way. But in the closing weeks of the campaign, how he brought this team to this title. 3 in a row. It's no mean feat. The history makers, the record breakers, the team that have simply been head and shoulders above the rest. Manchester City equal the English top-flight record. Huddersfield Town did it in the 1920s. Arsenal in the 30s. The great Liverpool team of the early 1980s won 3 titles in a row. Alex Ferguson's Manchester United did it in the 90s and in the noughties. And now, Manchester City celebrates the magic number. The treble still to play for. 2 finals to come for this City side. But it's the Premier League crown that is once again theirs beyond question.
Manchester City have never had it so good.
9th top-flight title for the club. And this youthful team will hope that this is only the beginning. They could seal it the easy way today. They knew before kickoff that this moment of celebration was coming. But that doesn't take away any of the special feeling. The quality of the Premier League. The fantastic managers, players and clubs elsewhere. But Manchester City, spurred on by the goals of Erling Haaland, have once again come out on top. 8 goals clear of Harry Kane in the race for the Golden Boot. Erling Haaland will hope to add to his tally of 36 when City go to play Brighton in midweek. He's got Brentford away next Sunday as well. But what an impact Haaland has made, and what a team. what champions Manchester City are.
Yeah, and you have to love his spirit, his enthusiasm, his desire just to get the next goal. That's all that's on his mind. And there were times when people began to doubt whether he was going to suit this team, but it's all been blown away. He has come in and he has delivered everything that Pep Guardiola would have hoped to see him come up with. And you're hearing now the Guardiola chant around the stadium, and he is very much the main man.
Manchester City sing that they have Guardiola. They have just lifted one trophy. There could be two more to come. The celebrations in Manchester tonight are going to be long and they are going to be loud. It is no mean feat, even when you do it 3 years in a row, to lift the Premier League trophy. And you can see what it means to these players, the sacrifices they've made, the miles on the clock. Any moments of doubt immediately snuffed away. And today, they get the tangible feel of that silverware amidst their fingertips. On a day when the weather has played game and the skies have been Manchester City blue, this football club have once again produced the goods, beating Chelsea 1-0 in this final home game of the season. Erling Haaland, who still potentially could have Dixie Dean in his sights in the all-time scoring record across all competitions, but he's beaten records set by the likes of Alan Shearer and Andy Cole, Ruud van Nistelrooy and Mo Salah. Some of the elite strikers to ever play the game in this country, and in his first campaign in England, Erling Haaland has swept them away. The moment for Ilkay Gundogan, following in the footsteps of so many successful Manchester City captains in the past. If this is how he bows out of the club, well, what a way to do it. A popular German international who has led this team to yet another Premier League victory.